What up, you marks? And welcome to Pod Jobbers, baby. I am your host, Jake the Villain. And alongside me, we got CL Kid. We got beautiful Brett. We got King Deucey. And joining us, a special guest. He spits in the faces of people who don't want to be cool. He's the only wrestler in the history of WWE that's won a U.S. title on his debut on SmackDown and the IC title on his debut on Raw. We got Carlito in the house. Say hi to the fans out there, Carlito.
What's going on? How's everybody doing? I'm assuming wonderful, enjoying this quarantine.
Definitely so.
It's a quarantine bash out there today. So, Carlito, what have you been up to, man? What's before obviously lockdown happened? What have you been involved with?
Man, that was so long ago. I don't even remember. I don't even know. What's the last thing I did? Just doing shows here and there, just working in the indie circuit, doing a little acting here and there. And when I'm not doing that, I'm focusing on my NBA 2K.
There we go. Who's your team?
Who's my team? I don't know. I used to be the Warriors, but now they're just terrible.
That's hard.
Yeah, I think I might go with the Clippers or the Bucks.
I suggest Boston.
Oh, yeah.
But
Just Boston?
Jeez.
That might be a good team too. I don't know.
a lot of wing players. You can definitely get to the basket and shoot the three. But
I'm just messing around mostly with the guy you make.
oh, there you go.
And
Yeah.
I lied a little bit. I mean, I got like 6'8", but don't tell anybody.
Oh, there you go.
What are you doing? Just
Gotcha.
blocking shots the entire game?
Well, no, because everybody else there is monsters. I think it goes up to like 7'4" or something like that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he's got my face because you can scan your face, but the only difference is he's like 6'8".
And if I'm not wrong, I think you're 5'10", right? That's what your build
No, I
is?
don't know where they got that from. I'm actually 5'11", with the hair 6'4".
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where they got this 5'10" from. I'm mad they robbed that inch from me. You know what I mean? An inch means a lot these days.
That's true.
You'd mentioned something about the acting thing. I noticed you were on Glow, right?
Right.
How was that?
It was a great experience. It's funny after all these years to go into something and feel like a rookie again after so many years. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm starting over. So I kind of like that challenge. And I kind of, it's different too because I had to calm myself down because, wrestling, you only get one take. In acting, you got to do 40 different takes from 8 different angles. So I kind of, I bring it like the first time was the first take, and it's like, okay, now we got to do it again, and then again, and then again. I was like, oh, okay, wow, this is. So you got to be like, you got to bring it like it's your first take, but like 80 times.
Definitely does sound rough compared to a WWE lifestyle.
Oh, no,
You do it once, and
It's actually, yeah, exactly. It's pretty easy though. They take out the bumps. If you have to take a bumps, there's mats and stuff. You know what I mean? There's somebody that brings you water after each cut. They pamper you a lot better than wrestling.
So,
Were you doing any training on that with some of the the wrestlers within the show?
The Chow was in charge of that. Chow was the guy training all the ladies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he did a pretty good job. I mean, it looked really good.
Yeah, I think he did a great job. Him and you guys remember Marty Elias, one of the referees?
oh yeah.
yes.
So yeah, both of those guys are training the girls. Yeah, they do a great job. And those girls, man, they take it serious. You know what I mean? They love it just as much as we do.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's really awesome. Jake.
So our first segment of the day, Carlito, we're doing this five-time round robin of questions, and basically each of us is going to ask you a question, and our fifth question comes from our Facebook group that we have. So we're going to go in order here. I'll start us off. What was your favorite Carlitos Cabana moment? So I know you had a lot of awesome promos there and guests on that show, but what was your favorite moment or guest that you had?
There's probably a couple. It's funny too. Like on these Twitter things, you get all these in this day in history. They skip a bunch of stuff that I had no idea. I didn't even know I worked this guy. I was like, wow. Like I didn't know I wrestled Edge. You'd think I'd remember that, but I had no idea I worked Edge. I would probably say the one. I mean, you got to go with Stone Cold and Roddy Piper. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't get any bigger than that. You know what I mean? I just remember it was also I think it was my first Mania. And I remember, just being, just imagine how nervous I was. You know what I mean? Just going in there with these two. Like, man, please don't screw up. But once you get out there, it's it's a breeze.
Yeah, I watched that recently. That was super cool. Like the pop and everything, like it's gonna happen and all that, and then it does, and just the place exploded. It was super cool.
Yeah, and then working with those two, I mean, those two are professionals, man. They're really awesome guys.
It's Roddy Piper and Steve Austin, for sure.
Yeah, it gets no better than that.
Right?
What was the difference like between working Mania versus like working a show? Is it so like from our perspective in the audience, it looks like it's like the Super Bowl and people get nervous before it. How did that impact you knowing that you were working WrestleMania?
I don't know. For some reason, for me, the bigger the crowd, the easier it is. Because we realize it. Like I think it's more nerve-wracking to talk in front of 10 people than 10,000. Because when you go out there, all you see is masses. You don't really see faces. You just see about you see a whole crowd of people. So you have, I don't know, for me, I had no nerves whatsoever because I don't even see people. I don't see faces. I don't know. I just hear them. And I just do my thing. Makes me, that's why I even do even goofier because I just don't care.
So you think it would have been any different compared to this year's WrestleMania where there was no crowd and it was a much smaller space?
Man, I feel bad. I think it would have sucked, man. I mean, working in front of an audience, it's – don't get me wrong. I've done a couple of shows where I've worked in front of nobody, but, there's at least, 10 or 15 people. I remember, especially starting out back in the day. But I don't know, man. Just working in front of nothing, nobody. Because remember, it's true what they say about that adrenaline rush and stuff. I mean, it's one thing when you do stuff with the adrenaline going. I mean, it's got you pumped. But to go out there and feel cold the whole time, oh man, it's brutal. I don't know. I don't know how those guys could do it. I don't know how they got hyped up with nobody out there. You know what I mean? To react off of, and I don't know. And just wrestling is just not the same without the crowd. You know what I mean? I was watching UFC. UFC, thank God, it didn't change much. It's still pretty entertaining. Yeah. But wrestling doesn't have that benefit. I think the audience is probably the most important part. I think of wrestling.
Absolutely.
That's a very interesting point because
Gaethje in that fight.
Man, he whooped him. He whooped I should have stopped it earlier, I thought.
Yeah.
I was okay with the stoppage. It was clearly over. He was shaking his own.
Yeah, they should have stopped it earlier than that.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. I thought you said they stopped it earlier. I got you. Yeah.
No. Oh, my God, no.
Yeah, I know. I was like, damn.
No, not at all.
Attitude, Eric Carlito.
So we'll go to mine next, Carlito. I got a pretty interesting question for you. It's just personal opinion. We know that your finisher was the backstabber.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I've seen two that have adopted it as their finisher: Chris Jericho and Sasha Banks. Who do you think does it better?
Well, Jericho does the reverse one, right? He does it to the front.
Yeah.
Well, I guess by default, Sasha Banks wins. I like it too because she does it, and then she does like some kind of submission thing after, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes into the Banks statement.
Yeah, I'll go with Sasha Banks then.
All right, not bad. I guess I'll jump in next on this. Obviously, you have the Apple gimmick. You spit in the faces of people who are uncool. Where did that come from? And was there any point in time where maybe backstage before going out, somebody gave you a hard time, like, you're not going to be spitting apple in my face, or maybe gave you crap afterwards?
No, man, it's a very weird business. I remember at a time I was talking over my match, and Joey Ryan was like next to me talking to his guy, and I'm talking about spinning an apple in the face. And I said, cool, whatever. He's talking about the guy doing his gimmick with his dong. I was like, man, this is the only business where you could do that, and the guy looks at you, has no problem with it. Hey, so look, I'm gonna spit in your face. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so then I'm gonna grab you. All right, cool, man. And no, it's like, wow, it's a very unique business. Where else could you do that?
Already.
And mine was like, you hear a lot of stories from like ex-wrestlers and especially people that worked in WWF about Vince McMahon and how he has like this weird like voodoo power to talk people into like bad ideas. Did he ever have that? Did he ever do that to you? Like,
oh my God, yes. That's why he's a genius. I must ask for my release about 3 times. But I think it was the first time. He's like, ask for my release, whatever. Okay, we'll talk to Vince first. All right, cool. So I go to Vince. I go in his office, whatever. And everything I was saying was right. Everything they done with me was wrong. I had all the, everything was reason. So, so it said, just stay a little longer, whatever, it'll work out. We're going to get you what you want. It's perfect. It was funny too, because as soon as the door closed behind me, like I was like in this trauma, the zone. And all of a sudden the door closed, like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, man, none of this is going to happen. And sure enough, but that's the magic of Vince, man. He's got this, I don't know what it is, man. He gets trapped in his aura, and there's nothing you can do about it.
You hear that story all the time. Like I was watching the Stone Cold podcast when he had Glenn Jacobs on, and he was talking about when he first told him, or talking about the Kane gimmick, and he had the exact same story. Like he walked out of the room, and like when the door closed, it was like the curtain fell, and he wasn't mesmerized anymore.
Right? Yeah,
that's pretty nuts.
That's true. That's not rumors, man. Everybody that's been in his office can tell you that.
What, did you have any sort of like creative freedom? So like one of the cabanas that I loved was when Vince came out and it was like the illegitimate father storyline. I don't know if you remember that one. And then Triple H came out and he's like, let's look at your history.
I don't remember, but they were. I don't remember that, but with the cabanas and stuff, they were very, even with my matches, they were very. They just let me do. They didn't really, put in. What do you call it? Tell me what to say, or kind of like
a script.
Yeah, the cabanas. Yeah, like the cabanas, I would do rehearsals, and I wouldn't even memorize anything. I just read it off the, I go through it, read it. Are they good? Got a spot? Okay, good. And then I just kind of look it over, look at the base points, and then all right, and I throw it out, and then just do. Because I kind of did that, because if I had done what they had originally written for me on paper, I never would have made it. But they're not Latino, so it's, you can't blame them. But they just don't know how to. They didn't know how to write for me. I remember one time, I think it was I forget who the writer was, but he had me like saying like, "Yo, dog," and this. I'm like, "Yo, I don't." He doesn't talk like that. He's not from the hood. He don't. You know what I mean? So, but that's stuff the guys got to do, is make that decision to believe in themselves and to go off script. Because I mean, the best way to get over is to be you.
Yeah. Hey, quickly on that Spanish thing. I feel like when you first came up, you were heavy Spanish accent. Was that intentional, or was just your English improving over time?
It's a little bit of both, but I think my English was pretty good too, because my mom's Canadian. Okay. So in the household, we speak to my dad in Spanish, we speak to my mom in English, and then between each other, we'd speak Spanglish.
Yeah, that's my house. Yeah. Nice.
Well, I mean, that's cool. Very cool, Carlito. The fact that, when we look back on like when you first came in, and you did have that deep, heavy accent, and then later on, I forgot who it was you were with. It was the psych actor, and that's when they put you with Kelly at the time, because he was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna type in a random number," and your voice and the way you talked to him, it just sounded so fluid compared to how you were when you first came in and when you were first on the mic. You just seemed more comfortable as the years went on.
Yeah, I think but I remember my idea too was also to kind of like over exaggerate my accent a little bit when I first started.
Sure.
I remember that's why they used to say like a Razor Ramon rip off order. And I used to take offense to that. But then one day I'm at my dad's Hall of Fame, and right before us, I think was for my dad was I think Razor Ramon's induction, and they started showing his vignettes. I was like, oh wait a minute, those every single I did rip-offs of Bubbles vignettes. Okay, I get it now. I was like, all right, okay, I see it.
I always thought that he was like a poor man's like Scarface. Like his
that was the idea.
To be back in the day,
yeah. So our fifth question comes from our.
But then again, if you speak, sorry to interrupt you, speak Spanish, Al Pacino was a poor man's Scarface too. You know what I mean? His acting,
yeah,
god awful.
Touche.
But I love the movie though. You can't, I love that movie though.
Oh, it's a classic, absolutely. So our fifth question comes from our Wrestling Life Facebook group from Andrew Hoskins. Who is your dream opponent from and it could be from anyone from any promotion, WWE, NJPW, Ring of Honor, AEW, NWA, anyone at all. Who's your dream opponent?
Yeah, I get a lot of asked those questions like, what's your favorite match, whatever. I don't know, man, because this for me, like since 19, it was a job. You know what I mean? I kind of like stopped being a fan, and it's a job to me. So it's like, you work this, and I look back at people work, and I'm like, that's cool, but it was just okay. That was that was on the table that day. Then what I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping one day I look back and be impressed with what I've done. But it was just I don't know. It was just my job. That's what I go out and do. I didn't really have, and also too like I was backstage with these guys as a little kid. I'd seen the Ric Flair and all these guys as a kid. You know what I mean? So I knew, and I saw the way, I saw, our wrestlers were backstage too, and that. So I'd seen like, oh wait a minute, these guys are human. These guys do some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? They weren't celebrities to me. It was just the boys.
It's just your dad's coworker, just like that kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll rephrase it then. What was your, like, who were you most impressed by when you got in the ring? It's like maybe you had.
When I got in the ring,
yeah.
I mean, Shawn Michaels is the real deal, man. I mean, I see why they say he's he's the best. He's just the smoothest, and of course Mysterio. I always loved working with Mysterio. Who else? There's a bunch of guys. He's just those that come to my mind right now is those two because they say Ray is the king of the high flyers. And Shawn Michaels, and they really are. I don't see who did it better in their respective areas. Who did it better than them?
It's very cool. Very cool response.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jake.
All right, we're gonna move on to this is a new segment we're doing specifically for you, Carlito. It's called Cool or Uncool, and we're gonna give you a list of wrestlers. So this may be a little bit of pressure here, but we'd love for you to say whether you think they're cool or uncool. So the first wrestler we're going to start with is John Cena.
He's cool, man. I got nothing but love for John Cena, man. He helped me out a lot.
Awesome. What about Triple H, the Game?
Triple H? I'm going to say, I mean, I always thought the character was cool, you know what I mean? And him and I never had anything to say, I don't know. I'd say probably label him cool too.
Cool. We already talked about Vinnie Mac, so we'll go past him. What about Teddy Long?
Teddy Long. He's uncool. I don't like Teddy. No, just kidding. Teddy and I, we'd always bust each other whenever we saw each other. But yeah, I'm gonna go uncool with him.
Uncool. All right.
Nice.
What about CM Punk?
CM Punk. I don't think he liked me much. But I mean, yeah, I guess he's cool. I'll give him cool. I don't know. He's all right.
Wait a minute. How could he not think that you're cool?
How could he not think I didn't say anything about him not thinking I was cool. I said I don't think he liked me much. But
I don't get that. Why not?
Nobody ever said. Nothing. I used to tease Maria, and then he was like it had nothing to do with him. I was just messing around with Maria, but I think they were dating at the point. But I wanted to continue my teasing her. So of course, as a boyfriend, you got to defend him and stuff. So he was just, what do you call that? What do you call it? Not friendly fire when you get somebody when they're meant something else. Something it was just
just like, dude, I didn't mean to get you.
Yeah. Just what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, you're killing me now.
you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. Yeah, it was never meant for him. I was just, but it was more important to me to keep on teasing her than what he thought of me. I remember one time too. What did I do? I think one time. You remember those tour shirts that they do that put all the guys?
Yes.
I had to do a promo with I don't even know why I did this, but I can't forget why I did it. But so the one in the shirt, I cut out CM Punk of the shirt, whatever, and then I go out and Santino asked me, goes, Carlito, why is there a hole in your shirt? It's like, oh man, there's no toilet paper. I had to use CM Punk. But that it really had nothing to do with CM Punk. I'm just trying to entertain myself out there, and
Was there someone that like you constantly would like go into prank wars with back and forth, or like you guys got each other?
Well, there was a bunch of that, but it was it was all friendly stuff. It was funny. I was talking to Sheldon one day, and I don't know, something was going on with him, whatever. And we were just drilling him. He goes, "Man, you guys are the worst. We kick each other when we're down." It's like, yeah, you're right. We have that kind of mentality. I know for us, that's showing love, but kicking you down when that's your worst.
That's fair. All right, so we got a few more here. Some of them are newer wrestlers. Orange Cassidy, have you followed him at all?
Yeah, I see the guy that puts his hands in his pants.
Yeah, what do you think of that gimmick?
I like that gimmick. I've seen some stuff. I haven't seen his full matches, but I like the gimmick.
Yeah, it's entertaining, right?
Pardon me?
It's entertaining, right? Like,
it's entertaining. Yeah, I don't know how he can nip up with his what do you call his hands in his pants, but that's impressive. I wouldn't do that dive he does with his hands in his pocket, but
Yeah.
that's what he wants to do for a gamer. Good for him.
I mean, I think he's got the best super kicks in the business, but that's just me.
I didn't even know he did super kicks. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
they're
he-
the
he, like,
they're the
he
does
little
it with
ones
his-
like to his
Okay.
the opponents.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
He kicks him in the shin, but he still slaps his legs. It's hilarious.
Amongst the 800 other super kicks in the business.
Right.
Right.
Definitely the most used move in the business right now for sure. What about the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins? What do you think of him?
He's a good heel, I think. Yeah, other than that, I think he's a good heel. I haven't really seen much of his work either, but I've just seen his promos and stuff, and I'm assuming he's pretty good in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got two more for you. Chris Jericho.
Come on, man. What more can you say about Chris Jericho, man? The guy keeps on reinventing himself.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. I mean, nothing but respect for Jericho, man. You got to give it up to him.
Where do you put it? So he's been a lot of talk recently about being the GOAT. Where do you where do you stack him up in the list?
Well, I mean, I put it into two categories. There was the money drawers, and then the best actual wrestlers. You know what I mean? I don't. So you can't say, you got to put him into that kind of categories. But I tell you though, he's up there with both work wise and with the character. I would say the guy that had the best of both, I think, was Macho Man.
Oh.
He was great in the ring, and then his gimmick was great too. He was great on the mic. I think he combined it the best.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a name I don't hear a whole lot in like the GOAT conversation.
I know he's either, but then again, he wasn't, like I said, he wasn't the biggest money drawer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the guy that combined both of them the most was that guy. Because most of the guys either had it one thing but didn't or they lacked the other. But nobody could really combine it like he did.
And also he was there at the same era as Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? You're working to outjaw Hulk Hogan.
No, nobody was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like when they did the superpowers thing, that was huge. So absolutely.
All right, last person I got for you, Carlito, is MJF. Have you seen him at all in
Yes,
AEW?
Yes, I like MJF. I wish he'd be a little bit bigger, but I like the way he works the crowd. I like his promos. I haven't seen much of his work, but I think he's solid enough. Like I said, but when you got a gimmick like that and you can talk like that, as long as his work is decent, he'll be all right. I don't know, how tall is he? He's got to be what, like 5'10" maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He's not real big.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say over 6 foot.
No, I don't think he's over 6 feet. Yeah, if he was a little bigger, it'd be better. But I like the MJF gimmick.
Do you tend to like enjoy more the really good baby faces or the really good heels? Where you land on that?
I'm a heel guy. I was always a heel guy. I hated it.
Yeah.
I've grown more into it now. But back when I first time, I hated babyface. I never wanted to be a babyface.
Yeah.
But
really
wasn't that
worked,
your
right?
tag team like? Weren't you and Primo mostly baby faces?
Where?
In the WWE,
In-
you and Primo.
I think so. No, were we? Yeah, I think we're babyface. I think.
Yeah, because
For
I was
sure.
about to say, like, when you were solo, you were more heel, but when you were a tag team, it was more baby face.
Yeah, I think I did more babyface. I think we were both though. I'm not really sure. But
Yeah, they were like back and forth depending on who they were going against.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
All right, Jakey.
Jake.
I think actually, beautiful Brett's up for the list.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
beautiful. Good.
I'm doing the list. Cool. Yeah. So we do a segment. It's called the list, where we basically find something that we don't like and we shit on for all intents and purposes, right?
All right.
So usually we all do one, but this time we all decided, to kind of come up with one as a group and just kind of tell you what it is and see your thoughts on it. And I don't know if you heard about it, but recently on one of his podcasts, Jim Cornette made some comments about Becky Lynch getting pregnant. That was pretty controversial, kind of skewed towards misogynistic and everything. And I know you were in OVW with Corny. What did you think about that? If you heard about it,
I heard the headline, but I didn't really hear what he said about it. I just heard he said something about Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically, he was talking about, it was, the way I heard it was basically from a business perspective. Like, when you're on top, why would you get pregnant? You know, and I also know, you know, you had, allegedly from what I've read, you had issues with Cornette and OVW, or maybe you didn't get along or whatever. I was just wondering if, you know, you had any insight into that.
I don't know. I'd have to get more information on it. I hope he does know that those things happen by accident too. You know, I don't know if he knows that. Accidents do happen. Like I said, I don't know enough about it to talk about it. My relationship with Cornette, I don't think he liked me much. I think he thought I was lazy because I didn't take OVW serious. But to me, it was like, this is not the end all be all. You know what I mean? It's up there. What we do here doesn't really matter. You know, whether you win tag titles here or the championship. I'm not here for this. I'm here to go up there. So I think he took it. I didn't say it to his face, but I think he took it that way. But me, I have no issues with him. Because I know how people. You know, I never get disappointed in people because I kind of see them for what they are, and that's who they are. You can't get mad at somebody. You know what I mean? Who is who they are. You just know where you stand with them. Like if you're mad at them, it's because you did something. You gave them something you knew. You know what I mean? They weren't gonna. What do you call it? They weren't gonna deliver, or they weren't gonna. We're gonna lie or something. You know what I mean? Like if you trust the liar and then he goes and lies, you know what I mean? It's on you. It's not on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But not that he's a liar or anything. I'm just saying that. I all these complaints about Cornette. He's old school and all that. Okay, but I saw it from the beginning, so I kind of I understand the guy. I know where I stand with him, and I get no issues with him. That makes sense. All that rambling I did.
No, that makes sense.
I can dig it.
When you're talking about a guy like Cornette, who is basically all about the business, he's not all about this new stuff coming in, the cinematic matches that we've had these past couple of pay-per-views, and he's the old school guy. He wants it to be the in-ring stuff. He wants people to compete. As when now we see wrestlers as more of faces on Instagram or Twitter. The kayfabe is kind of broken a little bit. But Corny, he's still about that life. Like, man, keep some stuff secret. But then when you add in the real world, like with Becky Lynch's pregnancy, I mean, in a way, he's kind of right. I mean, she's on top of the world right now. As I don't know if you've seen women wrestling, it's amazing right now.
Yeah.
And with her being the man, I don't know why she would do that. Again, that's not being misogynistic or anything. It's not me saying, hey, don't go have a family. It's just from a business perspective.
Right. I mean, well, it's you have to get inside her head. That's if some people treasure things more than others. You know what I mean? That's what she wanted, just to be a mom, and good for her. You know what I mean? I think if it wasn't an accident, then she knew what she was doing. You know what I mean? So good for her. That's what she wants to do. It's her life. Let her.
Fair point.
Let her do what she wants.
I think it was good timing. She was getting stale. That's good timing.
It's always good to go away.
Yeah.
I think who did that the best was Hunter.
Yeah.
He did for a while, and then some by he'd get injured. But his injuries, I think, for him were his luck, his good luck, because he'd get injured and he'd come back jacked there every time. And you know what I mean? Every time he died down, he'd come back just it's a whole big pop again.
Yep.
Hey, so what would you say, Carlito, if we were to ask you, who would make your list currently with the product, whether it's WWE, AEW, whichever way you want to go? Who's the one thing that you're really rubbing you the wrong way?
Rubbing me the wrong way in wrestling?
Yeah.
Right now it's just no audience. I mean, I like at least AEW. At least they put the boys in the crowd, so there's some kind of noise, some kind of reaction. But just the, I think I caught the beginning. I think it was of NXT, where I was looking because I was wanting to see if they did a tribute for Shad, and after that, I think it was in a Killer Cross. I don't know what his name now is.
Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross.
Yeah. So this great entrance where all the smoke is something, and then after the entrance, it's just this awkward silence because there's no crowd, and it just it's just like this awkwardness. I mean, I was like, oh man, like if it was a crowd, you know what I mean? It'd make that entrance even more amazing. But just that awkward, subtle, like a couple of seconds, but it's just awkwardness just kind of kills it.
Yeah, it's a ringing silence, like it just reverberates.
Yeah. It's big as all good, stuff, and it's just and standing there making faces like, oh, I'm trying to really help right now. I was like, yeah, I think that entrance with the crowd is amazing.
Oh yeah, the cinematic matches are like good, but it's like at Mania, it was rough when you had like so many solid spots, especially during those the ladder match with Morrison, and like it just didn't have the same effect that you're used to with the crowd just going holy shit.
Right.
Morgan could never live up.
I'm just glad they're trying different things. I think the cinematic, at least it's something. I don't know if it's better, but it's at least something different. You know what I mean? And you might want to take advantage and try new things. Well, you have to.
Did you watch the Money in the Bank match?
No, I don't have the network, so I don't know how you watch the.
You don't have the
You
network.
didn't miss anything.
No, I don't have the network.
They should give that to you guys gratis.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like if you got a paycheck from Vince McMahon, you should get like the network.
I think every employee, just like a pension, every employee that served a certain amount of years, they should get the network.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Saves you like what?
Network
$10 a
pension,
month?
that's great.
A network pension.
Yeah, instead of a gold watch, hey, you get the WWE Network for free for life.
You won't pay for your medical bills after your wrestling career. The
While you're in the
network
hospital, you can put the network.
For life for 12 years, whichever comes first.
Yeah. Like it's some sort of warranty.
I'm just curious, Carlito. Do you have any interest in like going to AEW or Ring of Honor or any other promotions now, or you just kind of doing your own thing?
Yeah, I do. But they have my resume. They know my number. Well, they don't know my number, but they know my resume. If anybody wants, I want to go where they want to use me. You know what I mean? It's up to them. If not, I just do what I'm doing.
Are you working in Puerto Rico a lot more now, or kind of?
I try to go as much as I can to help out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been going a lot more recently because my brother and my cousin were going down there helping my dad. So I went down to help. But yeah, anytime I have some free time, I try to go and help out as much as I can.
Nice.
You did bring up Shad, and that was a tragic incident which happened earlier this week. Would you like to share anything about him, a good memory you have, or how you felt when you heard the news?
Man. So man, he was my when I first moved to the U.S., well, the mainland U.S. To Louisville, the OVW. He was my first tag team partner because how wrestling it still hasn't changed. We're the darkest guys there. You know how they do it, like, oh, you're black, okay, you be a tag team. You're Latino, what do we do? Do you have to do with you? All right, you guys be a tag team.
Jeez.
So it's kind of like that. It was kind of like, are you black or you're half black? Okay, you guys. And of course, they made us thugs.
Oh.
Go figure. So I remember I think I did cornrows. I put like scarves. I don't know how to be a thug, but I said, all right. I think it was Cornette that made us a tag. If you're gonna thug it, I'm gonna thug it up and look as ridiculous as I can. I have fun with it. And man, since then we've been friends ever since. When I go to LA, I'd visit him. I remember we took his kid to some boxing practice. He let me stay at his house. And he's just one of these guys that always had a smile on his face, man. And he'd literally give you the shirt off his back. So to hear this type of news, man, it's sad because it feels like it was unearned. And but what I mean unearned is when you hear about, especially our business, the guys, they had a pill problem or they're drug abusers or they hung out with shady people or they lived a crazy life. And they okay, I can see how. But this,
Yeah.
You didn't see Shad. You didn't think of Shad Gaspard, getting lost at sea. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just, as wrestling fans, we hear something, breaking news comes out, and we're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So, we're trying to find out, how this happened, and we hear all these different stories, and finally, then, we hear about the body washing up, and it's just, oh my gosh, like so surreal, like, and him making sure that help got to his son before then himself. It's, he is a great guy. He is one of those guys that is heroic, and I mean, I didn't watch much of Crime Time, back when I was a kid. I mean, that was when I was like a kid, and
thanks for making me feel old.
No. I didn't mean it like that. I meant like.
I think I started before Crime Time.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's not what I meant. I meant oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure we're in high school, but
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
meant.
you're definitely
I was a
older in
high
that case.
schooler, you know. So I
Trying
had
to
priorities
feel
of my
young.
own, like be it football or girls or something like that. But
Oh,
it
Girls.
wasn't. I wasn't like, man. I was holding my blanket, watching Carlito, like, man, this guy's good. You know, I wasn't that type of kid. I was like, still in my youth. But gosh, my bad, Carlito. All right, I'm
No,
signing
it's all
off
right,
then.
man. It's all right, man.
Oh my
Gosh.
gosh.
But so you had a good relationship with him. I mean, how was he backstage
Yeah.
with everybody else?
One of my close friends. Yeah, I mean, he was just he liked to make a scene, you know what I mean? But always a smile on his face. He liked to be the life of the party. But like I said, he treated everybody the same, and was just a good-hearted person with everybody. Not a mean bone in his body.
That's very cool. And thank you for that, nice little tribute to him. We didn't want to go much into that. We just wanted to hear, some nice kind words that you had for him because, it's about respect. And, we see all these other people posting about it and their pictures and stuff like that. But to actually hear you being interviewed by us and saying that, it's very heartwarming. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't post for a while because, we knew what the end result was going to be. But I was like, until they confirm it, I'm just going to, I'm going to pray for a miracle, hopefully, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they say
for sure.
miracles happen. They didn't happen this time, but I just tried to hold out as long as I could. And then when they made it official, they found his body, and I was like, oh, now it is real. You know what I mean? And
Well,
like I knew
you
the
said
end, but I kind of in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, it could still. I don't know how, but something could still happen. But
Yeah.
It is what it is.
definite hero for sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kid, you have our next segment.
Oh, no, I was going to roll with this On This Day thing. We do a segment that we call On This Day, obviously, based on the Edge theme song. And it's, as you said, a lot of people pull back these old memories and old history, things that happened on this day. Ours from, this day, whatever year ago it was, 2001. It was Chris Jericho and Benoit defeating Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin for the tag team titles. I don't know if you remember that moment per se, because obviously 2001, almost 20 years ago now. But do you have anything? Obviously, you talked about Triple H a little bit. You talked about Austin a little bit. Not to get into Benoit if you don't want to go there, or Jericho again. But is there any moments like that that really bring up, when you hear these names for you? Is there any key moment outside of the Piper's Pit?
With Austin,
Triple H, Chris Jericho, and Benoit.
yeah, I mean, Austin was the Mania. Jericho, just partying with Jericho. Can't really tell stories about that. We'll go into that. Let Jericho tell those stories. And then Benoit, man, I to this day I still don't really know what happened. I watched the Dark Side thing.
Yeah.
And to me, he was always just a real cool guy, man. Just just around me, he was always very respectful, very cordial. I spoke to him and stuff. You'd never see it coming from him. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened. Something went off the edge of something. I don't know what to say, but to this day, still, I remember watching it. And just bringing. It's funny when you watch documentaries that you're a part of. Not that I was a part of it, but I was. I lived it.
Yeah.
I was around it. It was bringing back. Wow, it's intense to remember those days again. But like I said, he did what he did. You can't forgive him for that. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know. That's more I can say about him.
That's great.
And then Triple H, just remember him from the evolution of seeing him on TV to being one of the boys to being the boss. It's kind of
What was that like in the locker room? Because as an outsider, we just see it and we hear it and we're like, oh, that's cool. All right, nice. But I mean, is it like a weird kind of like, whoa, an employee shagging the boss's daughter? How does that?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't around for those days. I was already after that. I was 04, I think I started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he was already with Stephanie and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. When I don't know. Back for me in the locker room, like I said, it was a job for me. I just kind of, I don't know, just be one of the boys and mess with the guys, whatever. But I didn't walk on eggshells around anybody. I don't think I was, I didn't treat the higher ups better than the the guys starting out, or even the guys that were doing dark matches. I always learned, just be. I hope I was be respectful to everybody, because the people you see on the way up, are the same people you see on the way down.
Well, now that's an interesting take. What do you?
I remember being that guy in the locker room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to get a job. So I understand how nervous they are, and and their struggle. So you can't think you're better than anyone, because they're going through the same thing you went through.
Now, when you talk about the people going up and the same people you see going down, this past couple of weeks we've all been watching the Undertaker, The Last Ride. Now, how was he when you were in the locker room? What was his presence like being in that area? Because the guy's been wrestling for 30 plus years in the same industry. So,
yeah, man, he's a cool guy. Everybody respected him. You know what I mean? He had like the last word on everything. You know what I mean? He was like, remember with the wrestlers' court and stuff, he was the judge. He was the man. I don't think he liked me much when I first started. I think we were in Puerto Rico or something, and we were at the blackjack table, and I had him rolling. I don't know what, I was just doing my stupid stuff. I had him rolling, whatever. And after that, I think he liked me. At the beginning, I think he thought I was like a bit of a loudmouth, and I was too rambunctious. But then, I think I won him over. And after that, man, he's always after that, when I did my things, he'd come over to me and he'd pop, very loud, because man, you should have done that or whatever. So he kind of got with it.
So it sounds like, you're a man of many talents, dude. Like, comedy, acting, and I know sports in your background. Was wrestling always that's the path I'm gonna take? Was there like a moment in which you made that decision? Because obviously your dad and stuff, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I could ask that too. I don't know, man, because it was, wrestling started, since I was a little kid. Like before, every job I've had was in wrestling. When I first started with my dad, I used to go around hawking beer. I'd be the guy, going around here, cold beer. I think from there, I used to put up the ring. Then I used to work in the canteen. From there, I think I went to cameraman, and then I used to do the hard cam. And then from cameraman, I became a wrestler. I was like 19. I was like, well, I'm the same size as them. I could probably do this. And then from then on, it's just kind of, I don't know. So I don't really, I wasn't a school guy. You know what I mean? I got good grades, but it wasn't really my thing. And I think when I graduated, I just started wrestling, and from then on, I just kept doing wrestling. Other stuff I want to do, I never thought about that. It was always, I always thought about having a 9 to 5. I was like, man, sit in an office that long, or get hit with a chair. Yeah, I'm gonna take the chair every time.
Very nice.
Carlito, you have one of my favorite drop kicks of all time. Like that one where you would get up and you would get like vertical on somebody with your arm down like that. Was that? That's a
long time ago, Carlito. But go ahead, keep on.
But is that just how you learned to do it, or did you try to do that a little bit differently than everybody else, or what was?
No, I just tried to aim for your face every time. That was my goal, to try and get up as high as I could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But thank you for bringing that up. Nobody ever puts me in that great drop kick.
I love that
category.
drop kick, dude. That's one of my favorites.
I appreciate that. Another stupid thing I used to do was I used to take pride in taking the highest backdrop. Why? I don't know now why I did that, but I used to be my badge of honor. So I could take the highest backdrop.
I remember watching that too, like thinking that, watching you like back on Raw and stuff. Like, God, that dude gets up real high. You know, so
Cena loved it. You go, let's do the backdrop. Oh, okay. All right. Let's do it.
No, okay, so you say you don't put yourself in that category. Like, what category would you put yourself? As a professional athlete like that, a professional entertainer, where do you stack yourself? Because you say you got to believe in yourself. So tell me where you put yourself. Do you put yourself as best IC champion, best tag team, or what do you bring that you think is the best?
That's a good question. I don't know, man. I was slightly above average as a worker. I'd put myself. I don't know. I just liked. Honestly, probably the best part I liked was just acting stupid. Going out there and being in a crowd and just doing stupid things.
So like when you're walking down to the ring and people are, I don't know how many people probably give you the finger on the way down. You being the heel that you were, or But I mean, you had the apple. Did you ever just think like, man, I had this apple. I could throw it right at you, guy.
Nah, I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved the people booing and then the anger and stuff and getting under people's skin.
Yeah,
Was there like a whole to do of like, you know, backstage you have this orchard of apples that you choose from, or was it just like you pick one up and just go out there like?
Nah, I think I just go to catering, grab an apple, and go out there. I remember people always thought us, oh, you know, like go to shows, oh, what color apple do you need? I said, no, it doesn't matter, just color. All I have to do is be an apple, and I'm good.
So they didn't ask you like, do you need a Granny Smith? Do you need a Fuji?
Yeah,
do you need a
no,
Honey Crisp?
green one. No, just give me an apple, it'll be fine.
I always thought you have one of my top 5 entrance musics of all time. I loved your entrance music, and you're like, I'm a big sucker for like something that happens and then the music starts after that.
Yeah.
How involved were you in the process to getting your music?
I don't know, but I don't remember. You know, I might be what do you call it? I thought that it was my idea to spit and say something before the song, but I'm not sure if I can take credit for that. But I think it was my idea. So I went in and I just started spitting different things, and then they chose whatever it is they wanted. Because that's the one thing I always liked. Is a lot of guys did it. Like Stone Cold had the glass shattering. I mean, I always like the little introductions right before the music starts.
Yeah,
they don't do that a lot anymore.
Mm-mm.
I know. I don't know why they don't do that. I love that. But you know what's funny though is I didn't realize that entrances are great, but as songs they're annoying. You ever heard of like an entrance on loop? You're like, wait a minute. Oh my God.
I was watching.
I can take like 30, 40 seconds and good. Go
I
ahead.
was watching some match with Shawn Michaels in it, and like it was like from the mid '90s or so, and like it's the end of the match, and Shawn wins, and they just keep playing "Sexy Boy" over and over again, and it's like, yeah, it's like,
Fuck you, I like that music. All right.
I like it too, but you play it over and over and over again.
He's right. I would go on YouTube and like search songs, and they'd have like the extended version of it, and I was just like, oh my God, it doesn't sound nearly as good as it does live.
Try angles for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. See how annoyed you get.
I think Edge's theme song kind of stays alive through it, no matter what, because it's kind of almost like a true rock song.
Maybe. I always like my favorites were always Gangrel's and
yes,
and Mark Henry's. Those are always my 2 favorites.
Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Little Chocolate?
Yeah, was it the 3-6 Mafia one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The House of Pain whole thing.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
did you
We're all
watch
big
Edge come back this year for the Rumble?
I did. I saw the Raw stuff.
Okay. When are we going to see that from Carlito?
Man, I don't know. It's up to them, man. It's not in my hands.
Oh, come on. You don't have any pull there? You can't just make a phone call back. Listen, let me come back for this. Let me do this.
Listen, they called me back, I think, in 2015. I think it was. I think it was my brother's idea to bring me back. So they called, yeah, that's cool. So they called me up, and they offered me less money than I was making. I was like, wait a minute, okay, that's a slap in the face. But all right, I said, no, I can't. I'm thinking if you're really serious about somebody, you'd offer them at least to start off with the same amount. You wouldn't offer them less. So like, all right, how much do you want? So I gave them my offer a little bit above what I wanted. Hopefully they meet me in the middle. But then again, it was even what I asked for wasn't much compared to what they were paying. And then I think they came back like 2 weeks later and politely told me to go have sexual relations with myself. So
Oh man,
that's what it was. So like I said, man.
So who's like the guy that you're working with? Because we talked to Buff Bagwell a couple weeks ago, and he was saying he had a lot of contact with JR. Was JR like involved in a lot of the contract negotiations and stuff like that?
Before Johnny Ace, I think it was him.
Yeah.
He was back in the day. Yeah, when I started, JR was already out of that position.
Got it.
So you know Johnny Ace a lot then, right?
Yeah, I know Johnny Ace.
Okay.
I like Johnny Ace.
Now, real quick, we're not gonna see a Dark Side of the Ring featuring Carlito, are we?
Let's hope not. Jeez, I hope not.
Have you been watching?
Sorry,
those?
I just had to put you down that path to be like, man, they better not be showing one of me.
Have you been watching those?
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah,
They're
that
great.
Owen one was pretty nuts, wasn't it?
Which one?
The last one with Owen Hart.
Oh yeah. I watched it. I think a couple days ago. So having Shad's death and then watching Owen's thing that didn't help.
Yeah.
Not a good week. Not a good week at all.
Oh no, terrible. Yeah.
So, Carlito, before we close this thing out, man, what's next? What should we be looking forward to? Is there anything that you want to talk about or bring up?
What's next? Man, I don't know. Once this thing, I'm currently unemployed right now, so I'm waiting for this country to open back up and see what, I had doing some acting stuff, doing the wrestling stuff, but at this point, nobody knows what the future holds. The only thing I know is that Chris Masters and I got game 4, I think, tomorrow. We'll NBA 2K battle.
Who's been the best so far that you faced off with in NBA 2K?
In 2K, it's he goes. What's his name? He goes by Swerve now.
Swerve.
He's in NXT, right?
The NXT, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't want to know his new gimmick name is, but they call. I think it's some Swerve. I want to call him by his gimmick name. Make sure it's put it out there. He was good. Between what's I play with?
Masters any good?
Masters is all right. Masters can hold his own. But he loves them Lakers though. He sticks with the Lakers.
Of course. There's always got to be some guy.
Got LeBron, baby.
Well, he's from LA, so I get it. Born and raised, so I see his affiliation.
Fair.
So what sports are you ready to open back up? What sports do you watch that besides like NBA, clearly, like football, college football? What do you got?
No, I don't like college. College football's not real. I think if you graduated after 5 years, you got to jump to protein. You know what I mean? You stop this college stuff. No offense to college people. Yeah, man, I love football.
Wow.
Basketball are my main jams. Baseball. I watch baseball during the playoffs just because there's too many damn games. They don't need to be playing 100 and something game. What are they playing?
168.
160. Yeah.
What's the feeling right now out there in Houston after the big scandal going on?
I come from the wrestling world, so a little cheating in there.
Oh man,
Awesome.
But you don't like the Chicago Cubs, though, right?
Oh, come on.
I don't dislike them. I don't like them.
You nothing them. You nothing
I'll
them,
take
though,
it.
right?
I'm nothing them. Yeah. So let's go.
Okay.
I'll take it.
But you
Now,
do know
do you
that
like
jabronis.
Who's a Chicago Cubs fan?
That's me.
Are you from Chicago?
No, but pretty close.
Like I'm trying to understand this about people that come from like places that have two teams. Why they hate one team? Why can't you like both? I don't get it. They say, no, you can't.
Oh, Felipe would be happy from our
Yeah,
yeah,
you sure
Felipe,
would.
go ahead.
Yeah, we got a guy in our group that's a White Sox fan and a Cubs fan. And we give him shit about it all the
terrible.
time. So,
I don't know if it was me. If like Puerto Rico had two teams, I'd go. I'd root for both. I'd like one. I'd have my favorite one, but if they got eliminated, the other ones, then all right, let's go do the guys. I don't know why there's such hate for Clippers and hate for White Sox and Cubs and stuff.
Well, like
A lot of
me and-
those teams are
like me
based
and
on.
Brett. We're from Ohio, so we have either Cleveland Browns or Cincinnati Bengals when it comes to pro football.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to root for the Browns. Then again, I'm not going to root for the Bengals. So I go stateside and I root for the Indianapolis Colts. And
That's a better option.
I think it's more you see these small cities like you look in New York and the Bronx and the Yankees and the Mets. It's more regionalized and down to the courts, the very street. Like if you're in New York and you're anywhere close to the Bronx, you're definitely going to be a Yankee fan. You start heading towards Manhattan, it gets more Metsy. But it really comes down to the area. I know Chicago is divided that way for the most part.
Yes. The Yankees and Mets. I don't get it. I think I have two teams. I'd root for both.
It's like neighborhood versus neighborhood kind of vibe.
Hey,
So,
two chances are better than one, right?
That's for me.
that's right.
hell with the
Like,
Mets.
people get on me. They're like, "Oh, you're a bandwagoner," because I'll jump around team and say, "Hey, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. If Puerto Rico has a team, I'll cheer for them.
yeah,
If not, I have the right to go to whatever team I want, whenever I want."
Maybe one day.
Point.
that's how I am with basketball. I'm a LeBron fan. Whatever team he's on, I'm
Whatever he goes
into
to
their
the
team.
I see.
Lame.
Yeah.
I might stick with the Warriors because I was a Warriors fan before they started winning.
Wait,
So
were you a
I might-
Warriors fan? When they
Yeah.
had Baron Davis. Is that what you're telling me?
Not that far back. I just like Steph and Clay when they first kind of. I remember when they took the Spurs, I think, to like 7 games. I think.
Yeah,
That was
that was a
right,
good series.
That's when I became a fan of the Warriors. And then in football, I jumped on the bandwagon with the Chiefs. I was like, I think they're gonna win. Like last year, I thought they were gonna win. So like, or the year before, whatever. I was like, all right, I think they're gonna win. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I just like Mahomes.
I mean, I'll give it to you. Mahomes is incredible out there.
You can jump on the Bengals bandwagon with me. Very lonely.
No,
Not
no.
even today.
Joe Burrow is nothing.
Speaking of
man.
bandwagons, he likes a different team in every sport. So
No. I have the same team for my entire life in every sport. It's not like I'm switching teams. That's a bandwagon. I'm not one of those. So I'm the only Bengals fan who comes on here and tells the world I like the Bengals. So I'm not going to take that.
it's fair.
Carlito, before we get ready to go here, before we start to close up, what's your greatest piece of memorabilia that you still hold dear to yourself, that you keep?
That's a good question. Man, again, this has been a job to me. I don't really.
Wow.
I had stuff and I boxed it all up. I kept it just to save for my mom or whatever. That's a good question. I don't even know, man.
I'm thinking at this point, you referenced this being a job so much that your resume literally is the piece of paper that you've sent to the WWE.
I'm sure this was cool stuff. I don't.
All right, how about this? I'll rephrase Ducey's question. Which title did you like more, the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title?
I think, being WWE, I guess the Intercontinental has more history. Right, because the U.S. title they brought over from, when they bring it over from WCW or something?
Yeah.
So you got to go with the Intercontinental then.
Now, when you start wrestling again, are we going to be the first to be notified and get tickets to your show?
What's that?
I said, when you start wrestling again, once this is all done, are we going to be the first to get tickets, front row to root for you?
Yeah, if you're going to root for if you're going to root for me, sure, why not?
I mean, unless you don't want us to root for you. I mean,
I could
if you're
boo
being
you.
heel, I'll boo you all day. I mean,
If you want us to, we'd be like, nah, man, get him out of here, boo.
Oh, man. Well, Carlito, thank you so much for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. And, hopefully you and all your family, everyone's safe during this time. And thanks again for just being super humble and honest with us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it, man. You guys stay safe, too.
thanks,
All
Kyler.
right.
Appreciate it.
Take it easy. Thanks for tuning in to Pod
Carlito,
Jobbers.
thank you so much, man. We appreciate you.
Are we done? Are we done recording?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, dude, that was a blast.
That was awesome.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. You weren't bored.
Well, I mean, I tried not to, try to make, too many open-ended questions, but, when we got to, the point where you were like, hey, this is just a job. I mean, that's kind of hard for us to, as fans to see it as that,
No, I get it too. There's always the question I get asked. Like, like I said before, favorite place to work, favorite. I don't know, man. It's just another job. It's just, whether it's a bad cut or not, it's my job to go out there and do what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
So, favorite superhero movie? You got one of those?
Yes, The Dark Knight is my favorite.
Yeah!
Wow.
That's my favorite one.
Best movie of all time. Not
Best
even
movie of all time. Not even close. Yep.
Come on. Like,
Not even close. Stop,
Wait,
dude.
are we in a world where The Godfather doesn't exist all of a sudden? Or?
It exists, but it's not a Chris Nolan masterpiece.
Dude.
I at least thought you would have said, Infinity War or Endgame, because those movies are by far the best.
They were great. No, Endgame had the story the timeline I loved Infinity War. It was great. But the Endgame, how they tried to, is kind of just, the time continuum things, like I kind of fell through, like,
Yes, I hate that. I hate that.
It's still good. I still enjoyed it. But, come on, The Dark Knight, man. You can't beat that one.
Dark Knight's perfect all the way around. Sound, acting, everything.
Oh, everything about it. Yeah.
Do you like Joaquin Phoenix as a better Joker or Heath Ledger?
Don't break my heart here.
Ledger.
As the better Joker, I like Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Joaquin it was the title was Joker, but it didn't seem like a Joker movie to me.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it too.
Yeah. Performance was great.
I dug it, man. I thought it was great.
Now,
What
who's
is-
with me? Who's with me is Jared Leto is the best Joker.
I don't think there's anybody in the
Nah,
entire
he was
world.
like a mafia
Alligator.
boss from Hot Topic. Like that's what,
Poor guy. I feel bad for him.
yeah. It was a cool character. It just wasn't the Joker. That's all. It was a cool character.
I didn't even like the character. I
Oh,
thought
okay.
it was terrible.
What is what's this, I mean, I just saw it quickly, but what's this Johnny Depp Joker rumor stuff going on?
Johnny
What's
Depp.
happening?
I don't know. I saw that today on a
Yep.
on a Facebook. Someone posted. I didn't read it, but Johnny Depp is getting cast as the role of Joker in some kind of. I don't know if it's a Joker movie or if it's.
No,
you
it's
know,
the
the
it's going to be
Batman.
one of the Batman movies with
Tim Burton directing
Robert
it again?
Pattinson.
no, it's the Planet of the Apes guy, Matt Reeves.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh man, what do you think
And
of that?
the new Batman thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's got what's his face from Twilight as
Robert
Batman.
Pattinson.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Oh, that Johnny Depp as Joker. That's. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't think Heath Ledger would be a good Joker, and he proved me wrong. So
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know.
Which one would you rather watch? Would you rather watch Seinfeld, The Office, or Parks and Recreation?
Man, the only one I watched of those was Seinfeld, and not even like a diehard Seinfeld fan. The Office, I always heard about The Office. What's the other one? Parks and Rec? I
Yeah.
think when did those come out? I can't remember.
Both were in
Like
the
10 years ago.
yeah.
Oh,
Like 20.
okay. I thought it was still Puerto Rico. Yeah, I see stuff here and there. But I don't know a lot about Parks and Rec or The Office. But actually, Chris Masters was telling me about. He said, I got to start watching The Office, but like from season 3.
That's fair.
Yeah,
For
season,
It's pretty
season
fair.
3 is the best season by far.
That's
For
what
sure.
he said.
Yeah,
That's fair.
But season 1 and 2 really established the characters. So you're
Yeah,
gonna
they're
season
good.
3,
It's all good.
Well, I watched enough to know the characters more or less.
okay.
Oh, okay. So you're set. Yeah.
So what are you doing after this? You gonna chill out? You gonna have a drink?
Hey,
You
dude.
what are you
just
doing,
said
man?
No, I just quit drinking because I didn't.
Nice.
I started drinking from the day. I didn't miss a day of drinking since it started. So I was like, man, okay, I got to get myself back in gear. So I think I said Monday I was going to start. So since Monday, I cut everything out. I'm dieting and I'm not drinking,
Nice.
Good.
which is horrible because I don't know what to do with the rest of my day now. I was like, oh, I see how the drinking helped.
Are
So
you training?
I got to figure out how to entertain myself now in the night.
Are you still training and working out and staying in ring shape?
Yeah, with bands and stuff. Like
Yeah,
bands. I've got some water gallons.
Nice.
That's about it. Yeah, I don't
No.
dare go to the gym.
Yeah, we just got a gym open here around the corner from. I live in Orlando, so we got some gyms open now. So I'm getting back into doing that. But the water jug and the band thing, God, I felt like I hit a ceiling really quick with that.
It's brutal. But I don't know, man. For me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, the gym seems like the worst place to
Oh, dude, if
go.
you
during
go,
the pandemic.
if you go to the gym on that, they don't give a damn. Like there's like max capacity. It feels like everyone's right next to each other, touch it, and I'm like, damn, like I don't know how this place. It's like the CDC came and really shut it down for sure. It's that ridiculous.
Yeah,
I just got my hair cut today and I had to wear a mask like the whole time. You know, it was like she took it off to get the sides a little bit, but other than that, I just sit there in a mask. It was hot.
You wear a mask when you go out, Carlito?
No, I usually wear a hoodie, or as long as I hide the hair, nobody really knows who I am. Especially now with all this gruff on my face, nobody knows. Well, it's my front.
I mean, we'd be able to spot you a mile away. We'd be like, dude, put the hood down. Let me see it. Yeah, we know. All right. Anything else for Carlito, guys?
No, that was a blast, man. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you're cool, dude. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you guys, man. Appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right.
All right, have a good day, man.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you guys too.
Okay.
I don't even know how you shut this off. Let me see.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you
And
just
I-
gotta push the end
Shouldn't
button
be
or
one of the
leave
systems.
meeting.
I'll leave. Okay, all right. I'm leaving. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah, what happened to
Woo.
Jake?
I don't know what happened to Jake.
That was cool.
That was
Let me
great.
stop recording.
Yeah.